Welcome to the Personality Driven Podcast with your AI hosts, Jeff and Jazz.
Welcome to the Deep Dive. Ever wonder what makes certain TV news anchors so captivating? Today we're going deep into the world of news personalities to see what makes them tick.
We're using Personality-Driven, the secret sauce for selling news, as our guide.
Written by Emmy and Peabody-winning TV executive Raymond J. Brune.
Ray, we can just call him Ray.
Yeah.
And he really knows his stuff. I mean, 4 Emmys, 8 nominations, and a Peabody.
Wow. So Ray's book is considered one of the top 7 most influential in the TV news industry.
That's right. In fact, he kicks things off by making this really interesting distinction between newsreaders and true personalities.
So what's the difference?
Well, he says there's this it factor.
This it factor, huh?
Yeah, like that certain something that just makes someone captivating to watch.
I think I get it. So it's not just about looks.
No, not really. It's not even about what we traditionally think of as charisma.
Interesting. So what is it then? What is this secret sauce?
You're going to love this. He actually puts a lot of emphasis on warmth.
Warmth. Like a cozy fireplace on a snowy day. Okay, I kind of see it, but how does that play out on screen?
That's the question, right?
Yeah.
Well, he uses Robin Roberts as a prime example.
Oh, yeah, I like her.
He points to her relatable, down-to-earth charm, and he actually credits her sports background for giving her a refreshing lack of, that news pretense.
So do you think she has that it factor?
I do. But he also criticizes how modern production styles, especially on Good Morning America, don't really play to her strengths.
Really? What does he mean?
For example, he notes that she barely gets any close-ups.
Close-ups?
He believes those close-ups are absolutely crucial for conveying warmth.
So close-ups are like the visual equivalent of a warm hug.
Exactly.
Exactly.
It's like they allow the audience to connect with the personality on a deeper level.
I see. So he feels that GMA's fast-paced format doesn't give Roberts enough space.
That's his argument.
Yeah.
Not enough space to really let that genuine personality shine through.
Makes sense to me. It's like trying to have a deep conversation in a noisy, crowded room. You need that close connection to really feel the warmth.
You got it.
So are there personalities out there who can thrive even in, a busier format?
There are. Ray highlights a duo in Australia, Georgie Gardner and Carl Stefanovic.
The 9 Network's Today Show.
You know them.
I haven't seen them, but I'm intrigued. What's so special about their pairing?
Ray calls them the best of the best. It all comes down to their chemistry.
Just click.
Oh, yeah. They bounce off each other effortlessly. Their banter feels so genuine and unscripted.
So it sounds like their success comes from both their individual personalities and how the producers showcase their dynamic.
Exactly. And it's not just limited to English-speaking audiences either. He even talks about Melissa Theriault,
Where was that?
the highest-paid news anchor in France.
Wow.
Ray admits he doesn't speak French, but he's still captivated by her warmth. He says it transcends language barriers.
That's pretty amazing. I'm starting to see how this warmth thing is really a universal language.
Oh.
It's about connecting with people on a human level, regardless of their background or what language they speak.
Precisely. To understand this concept of warmth better, he actually takes us back in time.
Back in time.
He wants us to look at Arlene Francis.
Oh, the legendary TV personality from the 1950s.
You know her.
I do.
He loves her book, That Certain Something, The Magic of Charm.
Okay, so is she saying that charm is basically the same thing as warmth?
That's exactly Ray's point. He sees this direct link between what Francis called charm back then and what he calls warmth today.
Makes sense.
It's that genuine, authentic energy that really pulls viewers in.
Okay.
Francis also emphasized that, the camera can't hide a fake personality.
And viewers can spot a phony a mile away, right?
Absolutely. So it's not just about projecting warmth. It's got to be genuine.
So speaking of genuine personalities, Ray talks about a lot of local news stars who've mastered the art of connecting with their viewers.
He does.
What about Rosanna Scotto from Good Day New York? What's his take on her?
Oh, he's a fan.
Yeah.
He highlights her, compelling on-air presence.
I've always found her to be very down-to-earth and relatable.
And he loves the duo of Larry Potash and Robin Baumgarten from the WGN Morning News.
Oh, I know them. I wonder what their secret is.
He calls them world-class examples of well-produced personalities.
They really do just jump off the screen.
He says it's their genuine chemistry, their personalities just shine through even in that, crazy, fast-paced morning show format.
It's like they're inviting you right into their living room for a chat.
Exactly.
What about WGN reporter Tanya Francisco?
Oh, yeah.
She's someone who can make even a simple weather report captivating.
He emphasizes how her personality just bursts through. And he sees this as a testament to the power of personality to, like, elevate even the most basic news segments.
It's like she brings her own sunshine to the weather report.
Mm.
Now, speaking of personalities that really brighten up the screen, I was fascinated by his analysis of Jerry Springer's transition from mayor to, news anchor.
Oh, yeah. Remember, Ray worked with Springer at WLWT in Cincinnati early in his career.
Oh, right.
He saw firsthand how Springer's authenticity and willingness to just be himself really resonated with viewers. And that actually contributed to the station's success.
That's pretty wild. I mean, Springer isn't exactly known for being your typical news anchor, but it sounds like his personality really clicked with viewers.
For sure. His commentaries were a huge part of that.
So it wasn't just reading the news, right?
Right. It was about offering his own perspective and connecting with the audience on a personal level. Ray was inspired by how the producers, recognized Springer's potential and actually helped him develop into a true personality.
It makes you wonder if anyone can be shaped into a TV personality or if it's something you're, just born with. What's Ray's take on that?
He believes certain people have, natural potential, for sure. But it takes skilled producers to recognize and nurture that it factor.
So what about those who already have a big platform and try to branch out?
He calls those near-miss personalities.
Interesting.
These are people who were already well-known but didn't quite hit the mark when they tried to, shift into different roles.
Like when Megyn Kelly moved to NBC's Today Show, right? I remember that being a big deal, but it just didn't seem to work out. What did Ray think about that?
Well, he actually wrote a whole article about it for the Huffington Post. He argued that Kelly lacked the warmth to really connect with that morning show audience.
So warmth was the missing ingredient.
According to Ray, yeah. He actually predicted that the network's investment wouldn't pay off because of it.
I see. So he felt that her style, which, worked so well on Fox News, didn't quite translate to the, more personable, lighthearted tone of a morning show.
Exactly. And, all those focus groups and all that market research.
Yeah, that networks rely on so much. Ray isn't a fan.
Why not?
He thinks they don't really capture this, crucial element of warmth.
So it's like he's saying you just have to trust your gut as a producer. Like, warmth isn't something you can always measure or manufacture.
That's the idea. Now, what about Katie Kershik?
She was known for being pretty approachable, right? Why didn't she work out either? He makes a similar argument about Kershik, claims that her on-air persona also lacked warmth. And he uses this to explain why her talk show didn't resonate as much as, she'd probably hoped. He actually compares her to Robin Roberts, who he describes as like a cashmere blanket of warmth.
Interesting analogy.
And, he laments that the producers at GMA haven't fully capitalized on that.
So he's saying that this warmth factor, while it seems intangible, can make or break a personality's success.
Especially when you're trying to connect with a female audience. He believes audiences can just sense this warmth on a subconscious level.
Makes sense.
And without it, even the most talented, experienced personalities can really struggle to connect with those viewers.
It's funny, he draws a parallel to Walt Disney and his ability to create those warm, endearing characters, like the Seven Dwarfs.
Yeah, they practically ooze warmth, right?
And then he contrasts those with Disney's less successful characters like, say, Alice in Wonderland.
Who Ray says lacked that same warmth and connection.
I see his point.
It's all about the importance of warmth as a fundamental element of storytelling and engagement, even, beyond just news personalities.
It's so fascinating how this, seemingly simple concept of warmth keeps coming up in all these different contexts.
Yeah.
We've talked a lot about the importance of true personalities in news. The power of warmth and the struggles that some big names have faced when trying to make a switch. It's a lot to think about.
And Ray doesn't stop there. He goes on to explore some even more interesting examples of how personality can make or break a news program.
So there's even more to this warmth thing.
Oh, yeah. There's a lot more to unpack. But I think we should probably let our listeners digest all of this first.
Good idea. We covered a lot.
It is a lot to take in, but it's really insightful stuff.
You know the most common mistake people like you make when dreaming of becoming Kim Kardashian rich? You don't get off your butt. You don't seize the day. You don't recognize the opportunity, even when an outrageous income generator like artificial intelligence is staring you right in the face. Well, that all ends right now. Listen to me. You don't need to be a rocket surgeon or even know what the GPT in ChatGPT stands for at all to make a busload of Benjamins. You just need three things: a plan, a passion for profit, and a computer, laptop, tablet, or smartphone. That's it. This is your plan. 101 ways to cash in now with ChatGPT and AI, the biggest wealth creator in history. It's been researched, compiled, and written by best-selling Amazon author Jagger Chase. These pages detail every easy step to create multiple streams of income. You choose from fields like travel, gaming, visual arts, fashion and beauty, real estate, parenting, consulting, legal and financial advice, food, fan fiction, and dozens more. Yahoo Finance reports people are easily making $1,000 a week without leaving home and with no startup costs. The AI market is already valued at $100 billion. There's plenty of profit to go around, whether you're building a successful career or looking for a lucrative side hustle. I'm not going to lie to you. You'll need to invest some time in this endeavor, but you can do it from home, in your underwear. You can pick your hours, and the best part, you are your own boss. Look, I hope this opportunity scares you a little, hell, even a lot, because taking positive steps to move forward is always scary. But listen to how author Jagger Chase preps you to succeed in the audiobook.
When fleshing out the details of each of the 101 strategies, I wanted to offer 3 key takeaways for the reader and listener. Number 1, how to get started and up to speed. Number 2, how to monetize these various channels using ChatGPT. And number 3, how to expand and keep growing.
You've got the passion. It's obvious if you're watching this far into the video. You've got a computer or smartphone since you can see this. Now, nail down your business plan with the easy steps in this book. 101 Ways to Cash In Now with ChatGPT and AI, the biggest wealth creator in history by Jagger Chase. Available now from Amazon in paperback, ebook, and audiobook.
You know what's interesting? Ray doesn't just focus on, traditional news anchors.
No, really.
He looks at personalities who, captured attention in the digital age, too. Remember those viral sensations? Sweet Brown, Antoine Dodson, Noah Ritter.
Yeah, ain't nobody got time for that.
Classic. They each had these, unique moments that captured millions of views online.
They did. What does he say about their, viral fame?
He thinks it comes down to genuineness.
Okay.
They were just authentically themselves, and it connected with people in a way that, polished traditional news just often doesn't.
I think I see what you mean.
Like Sweet Brown's hilarious account of her apartment fire, Antoine Dodson's plea for his sister's safety, little Noah Ritter, and his adorable, apparently, interview.
I love that kid.
They weren't trying to be anything other than themselves, and that's what made them so captivating.
It's wild how these everyday people suddenly became internet stars overnight. It's like their personalities were so engaging that they kind of transcended, those traditional boundaries of news and entertainment.
Right. Ray uses them to show how authentic personalities can just grab attention, even in a world, totally overloaded with content.
It makes you wonder if traditional news outlets could learn a thing or two from these unexpected stars.
It does make you think. Now, Ray doesn't just focus on modern personalities either.
No?
He takes us back in time to look at some legendary figures from the past.
Oh, I love those old school broadcasters. Who are some of the folks he highlights?
He talks about Bill Bonds.
Bill Bonds. Remind me.
The king of Detroit TV.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
One known for his bold personality, right?
Yeah.
And all those controversial moments.
That's him. The guy wasn't afraid to speak his mind, even if it ruffled some feathers.
Didn't he, question Bill Clinton directly about his personal life?
Yeah, during that nationally televised debate.
Wow.
Then there's Ann Bishop.
Ann Bishop.
Yeah, she was huge in the Miami market, known for her sharp wit and, her no-nonsense style. She wasn't afraid to challenge anybody.
Especially politicians, right?
Especially politicians. Ray loves that, her direct take-charge approach. It definitely made her stand out.
Inspiring. Those were the days. Who else is on his list?
Al Shuttlecutt.
Okay. Give me the rundown.
The voice of Cincinnati. He had this powerful delivery, incredible, really, and was an anchor, well, forever. Ray really seems to have a soft spot for Shuttlecutt. He even shares a personal anecdote about him in his blog.
Really?
Yeah, it was during that tragic concert stampede in Cincinnati, remember?
The one where 11 people died.
That's the one. It was breaking news coverage, obviously very tense. And Shuttlecutt, live on air, announced that his son was safe. His son had been at the concert.
Oh, wow. I can only imagine what that was like, for him and for the viewers.
What's interesting is that, according to Shuttlecutt's daughter, that announcement was actually an accident.
An accident? Wait, what?
Yeah, someone handed him a note during the broadcast, and he, mistakenly read it aloud.
Live TV, huh? Anything can happen. It's a reminder that those unscripted moments, those can be even more powerful than those carefully planned segments.
Absolutely. And it really highlights that power of personality. Even a reveal like that, unintentional, it creates this deep connection with viewers. They see that human side, right? The father worried about his son, and it makes them feel more connected.
Makes you think about how these news anchors are just regular people.
With real emotions, real families. And sometimes those moments of, vulnerability, whether it's planned or not, can be really, really powerful. Ray even points out that Shuttlecutt's newscasts were so tied to him, to his personality, they were named after him. The Al Shuttlecutt News.
It's amazing how a strong personality can become synonymous with a news program, right? It's not just the news itself, it's that unique perspective, that presentation.
Absolutely. So beyond just personalities, he also gets into some specific techniques anchors use to connect with their audience. Close-ups. Drawing on his experience producing Robin Roberts on Good Morning America.
Right.
Yeah.
He's a big believer in the power of close-ups to convey warmth.
Huge believer. He criticizes the current GMA producers for not using enough of them with Roberts. Feels like they're missing a chance to really showcase her warmth and charisma.
Those tight shots do allow viewers to, really connect. It's almost like you're having this one-on-one conversation.
Exactly. He also analyzes Shuttlecut's visual approach. Remember, he never showed his face during the first part of his newscast.
Oh, really?
Instead, he used that time to show footage of local and national news stories, almost like a mini documentary.
So he was relying on the stories themselves to draw people in, not his face.
Right. Let the visuals do the talking, and then he'd come in with that powerful voice of his to tie it all together.
Interesting strategy. Any other techniques?
He had this thing where he'd show high school yearbook photos whenever someone in the community died or was involved in a crime.
Yearbook photos.
Yeah, it sounds weird, but it, personalized the news, made it more relatable. Ray even jokes about being afraid his own yearbook photo was going to end up on Shuttlecutt's newscast.
That's kind of funny, but also, really poignant. It shows how those personal touches, can make the news hit closer to home, reminding us that these are stories about people, not just headlines.
Right. It's like saying that behind every headline, there's a human story. And Shuttlecutt, by putting those stories front and center, he created a bond with his audience. So we've seen examples of people who, embrace that warmth, others who project a more, authoritative presence, and even those who capture attention through just being themselves, completely unfiltered. What stands out to you as the most important thing here?
What I find most interesting is how he stresses understanding what makes each personality unique, and then figuring out how to really make that shine through, whether it's those close-ups, personal stories, or even, the unconventional stuff like Shuttlecutt's yearbook photos. It's about figuring out how to amplify what makes each person special.
He actually uses this, this powerful analogy from the sitcom WKRP in Cincinnati.
All of that show.
There's a scene where the station manager, Arthur Carlson, he's reflecting on that concert tragedy we talked about.
Okay.
He says, "This is a good town, Venus. We're responsible people here."
Yeah.
And what Ray loves about that is that it embodies that genuine connection a news anchor can have with their community. It's about, recognizing those shared values, shared experiences, the things that bring people together, especially in tough times.
Makes you think about the role of the news anchor, right?
Mm-hmm.
Not just as, someone delivering information, but as like a source of comfort, support, someone who can bring people together. It's about being that voice of reason in a world that can feel so chaotic.
Totally. He challenges us to imagine a modern anchor, saying those same words after a school shooting, offering a message of hope, of unity.
Yeah, it's about using their platform to create that sense of community.
Exactly. Now, before we wrap up this deep dive, there's one last thing we need to explore. It's about how Ray approaches finding new talent, and it involves something pretty adorable.
What's that?
Puppies.
Puppies. Okay. I did not see that coming. But how do puppies help you find the next big news personality?
Ray has this whole section in his book about his method for spotting potential stars.
Yeah.
He calls it audition your talent with puppies.
So he brings puppies into the audition.
Yep.
That's pretty clever. But how does that actually, help him find the next big news personality?
Well, remember all this talk about warmth?
Yeah.
He's convinced you can't fake that. You can't fake genuine warmth.
I buy it.
And he's found that watching someone interact with puppies is a really good way to gauge, how authentic they are, their ability to, connect on that emotional level.
I like it. So it's like this real-life test. If you can charm a puppy, you can charm an audience.
Exactly. It's a brilliant way to assess all those qualities that you just can't, put on a resume.
Yeah.
Ray's looking for that true personality.
It's really outside the box thinking. What exactly is he, looking for? Are they gentle with the puppies, playful, patient? What is it?
I think it's all of that, right? He's looking for someone who's just naturally engaging, comfortable with themselves, someone who can, connect with a puppy on its own terms. And that ability to connect, to project that warmth, that genuineness, it's what translates to, being able to connect on screen.
It's funny, isn't it? It's like that old saying, never work with children or animals. But Ray's flipped it and made it a key part of how he finds talent.
And it's not just about, finding the right people. It's about seeing their potential and nurturing those qualities that make them, stand out. That's a lot of what we talked about today. Understanding what makes someone tick and then, creating the space for them to really shine.
You're in the conference room with coworkers. Do you know why it's absolutely essential you sit right next to your office enemy? Your boss tilts her head toward you, exposing her carotid artery. What is the message she's unconsciously sending you? Do you know the one incredibly simple thing you must do during a job interview to instantly make you a top candidate for the position? The answers are found in the science known as psychological intelligence. It's essential you armor up with every available advantage in today's business environment to decode the minds of your bosses, coworkers, clients, and customers. More than 100 hacks are revealed in this powerful book. Don't play fair. Psych Intel Hacks for Office Success. It's an Amazon bestseller from author Jagger Chase, best-selling author of 101 Ways to Cash In Now with ChatGPT and AI, the biggest wealth builder in history. His book shares the wisdom winners use to outsmart adversaries, conquer obstacles, and soar to success in all areas of business. If you don't understand the strategic value in whispering, you can't be competitive in the office. Practice your due diligence, then buy the book. Don't play fair. Psych Intel Hacks for Office Success. Available now exclusively on Amazon in paperback, ebook, and audiobook.
So, as we wrap up our deep dive into Ray's world of news personalities, what are the big takeaways for our listeners? What should we all be thinking about the next time we tune into our local news?
Well, for me, it's that having true personalities, those are essential for making news programs engaging and successful. They bring that it factor, the thing that keeps viewers coming back.
And a big part of that it factor is warmth, that authentic energy that makes people feel a real connection with the person on their screen.
For sure. And it's not just about finding those personalities. It's about knowing how to show them off, understanding their strengths, and then, creating a format that makes those qualities stand out, whether it's close-ups, those personal anecdotes, or even those puppy auditions.
We've seen how those little touches, those personal things, can really make a difference, right?
Absolutely. They create a feeling of closeness, a connection that goes beyond just, the headlines. And from those viral sensations to those legends from the past, we've seen that, authenticity and connection, those are timeless qualities. And they resonate with viewers no matter their age or where they're getting their news. Sometimes the most fascinating stories come from, the most unexpected places.
That's so true. So next time you're watching the news, really pay attention to the people on screen. Think about, do they seem warm? Do they seem genuine? Do they make you feel connected to those stories they're telling? Thinking about these things, just might change the way you experience the news. and it might help you spot those special people who really stand out.
And maybe it'll inspire you to look for those, hidden gems in your own community, those everyday people with stories to tell who really want to, connect with the world around them.
That's a great point. Well, thanks for joining us on this really fascinating deep dive. We'll be back next time with another look at the people who shape our world.
My trauma weighed me down for decades. I was trapped in a cage, desperate to break free. Healing came for me completely by accident. I'll show you how I learned to fly.
To fly higher than heaven's hands, where the ever-healing skies don't end, where he'll never close his eyes again. There, where dreamers dare to fly.
The Art of Being Bullied, in paperback, ebook, and audiobook.